Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. In this video, we're going to learn all about getting started with Fauchet and this Easyloop yarn tool. This is a really interesting tool that I've recently had a chance to try out, and I just wanted to give a special thanks out to Leisure Arts for sending this to me and allowing me to try it. And what it is, it's a handle, and at either end are these, they look like tapestry needle tops. They have an eye. So there's one at one end, and then there's two at the other end. And this allows you to crochet. And we're going to learn about how to do it. And it also, when you get the tool, it comes with this little booklet, and it shows you some very basic stitches. And there's even a little scarf that it'll show you how to make. So that's really helpful. And there's photos and everything. You can also go to Fauchet, and this is how you spell it, F-A-U-X-C-H-E-T, Fauchet.com, and there's some more in-depth instructional videos. We're just going to kind of play around with it, and I'm going to tell you about how to use it. So they recommend using anything from a worsted weight to a bulky yarn, and really anything in between. So the thicker yarns work best for this tool. And I have some yarn here, and you'll also need a pair of scissors. So let's get started and learn how to use this interesting tool. So to begin, we need to thread the tool first. So we're going to just grab a little bit of yarn. And what I like to do whenever I'm threading a needle or something, I like to just give it a little snip, get a fresh cut on there. So what you're going to do is, holding your tool with the words facing you, this needle, I'm going to call them needles, you can call them pegs. There's one that's going to be closest to you, and there's one that's going to be farther away. The one that's farther away from you, you're going to, you can give it a little twist to help get it through, but you're going to send the yarn through that. See this one here? Then you're going to bring it up and over top of the handle. See, I'm covering up the words now. Then you're going to send it back through this other one that's at the other end, and then pull it through a little bit. Okay, so we've come through this one that's farther away from us, over and back down, just like that. Now you're going to pull it through so you have about, we can get a little bit more yarn off our yarn ball. Pull it through till you have about 6 inches or so of tail down the front of it. So now you're ready to begin. We can get our scissors out of the way. Now I also wanted to show you how to hold your tool. So when you're working with it, what you're going to do is take your hand. This will help you maintain tension. So what you're going to do is hold it sort of like you would a pencil. And you're going to use your finger to kind of anchor the yarn under your finger. So you're going to kind of just hold it like this while you work. Now that we're all threaded, we can start doing the chain, okay? So what we're going to do, this is going to be the base of your project with this tool. Okay, so what you're going to do, holding it like we talked about before, like a pencil, the two loops are towards the back of your hand. This is at the front of your hand. This is where you're going to be working, like when you're crocheting. This will be like your crochet hook. Okay, so what you're going to do to begin is you're going to put a slip knot on the yarn, just like you would when you're crocheting. So I'll show you how to do that. So just wrap the yarn around your fingers. You can slide this back if you need to. Bring the yarn behind this loop that you just made, and then bring it through. Okay, so you're going to have a little loop, not too big. I'll bring that a little closer so you can see. Okay, now we're ready to grab the tool again and slide it back. Now, so once we have our slip knot on here, we're ready to begin our chain. So you're going to keep in between this knot and the tip of our needle, it's going to be about 1 inch. Okay, so just keep about 1 inch on there, and that'll maintain your spacing and your tension as you work your chain. Okay, so what you're going to do is insert the tip of the needle, and again, we're holding this down. See, I'm holding this yarn down with my finger to kind of maintain tension and keep it from getting too loose. So about 1 inch, then you're going to stick the tip of your needle into this loop here and push it all the way back towards your handle. Okay, so just to show you, we have a little bit of a triangle happening here. So this bottom part of our triangle You're going to grab onto that. And then you're going to pull this tool back out. Okay? So don't let go of this loop yet because we're going to be working into that next. Keeping that 1-inch spacing. Go back into this loop. Push it all the way back. And then grab that underneath loop there. Okay? Grab that. Pull this through. Don't let go of your loop. We have a few chains happening here. We'll stop and look at our work in just a minute. So don't let go of that loop. Keep that 1 inch. Insert back into the stitch. Grab that underneath loop. Pull it back out. Again, insert the needle in. Push it all the way back to the handle. Grab that loop. Pull it through. Okay, maintain that 1 inch. Insert it back into that loop. Grab this bottom loop here and pull it through. Okay, we're just going to keep doing that. We're just inserting the tool, grabbing the loop, not letting go, pulling it back out, maintaining that inch. We're just going to keep going, just like that, okay? So let's look at our work. We have a crochet chain that we've made. So interesting, right? And then on the back it looks like the chain lengths just when you use a hook, okay? So now that we've made a chain, let's learn how to do a slip stitch. So to do a slip stitch is a little bit different. You have your loop here. So what we're going to do, maintaining that 1 inch spacing like we did before, let's look at our chains here. We're going to skip the first chain here, and you can hold this loop if you want to. And maintaining our tension with our thumb, I'm going to get mine a little more snug, insert the needle into, you're going to skip a chain, so insert it into the next chain, and you're going to push it all the way back to the handle like we did before. Then also put this loop on there and slide that back as well, okay? Now you still have, if we turn our tool to the side, you still have that bottom loop. Go ahead and pull that like we did before for the chain. Go ahead and hold on to that loop and pull this through like that, okay? So we've just made our first slip stitch. Keeping that 1 inch, go into the next chain. We're going to make this the next slip stitch. Insert into the chain and push it all the way back. Get that loop that's on your hand. Get that on there as well. Push that all the way back. You might need to turn your tool slightly, but that loop that runs along the bottom of the needle, grab onto that and pull everything through. Okay? Starting to see it's getting a little thicker. So insert the needle into the next chain, push it all the way back, put the loop back on there, push that back as well. We can pull this a little bit to straighten it out too. Go up underneath, get that loop, pull that through, hanging on to that loop for the next one. Okay, in our last chain, insert the needle into that last chain, push it all the way back, get the loop on there, push that all the way back, grab this bottom loop and pull everything through. Okay? Okay, now we're going to have a loop at the bottom, and our slip stitch row looks a little bit like this. Looks like a little tiny rope so far. We're just making a small little sampler here. You can make yours as long as you'd like it to be. Let's finish it off. So what we want to do is just cut, and then you can take that tail and just send it through the loop like that. Now if you want to keep going, you could make a scarf or what have you. If you have some cotton yarn, you could just make a small little dishcloth or a scrubby. So you just fasten it off. When we've made just like a little tiny piece of this, but it looks very pretty, looks very rope-like. You can see all the stitches very nicely, and you can experiment with different types of yarn. So this is just the very basics, and again, if you go to the Fauchet.com site, you can look at more complex stitch work and different techniques and projects. I think there's also an ebook you can get too. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this Fauchet Easyloop tool tutorial. Thanks again for watching, and be sure and click the red subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Thanks again.